Hey, what's up, Merlings? I am doing a little painting video for you today. I get asked this question a lot. What do you paint silicone mermaid tails with? And the answer is you only paint silicone with more silicone. The proper paint to use is called Psychopaint. It's a smooth-on product. Psychopaint is specifically formulated for painting. It has extra binders in it, which help it bond a little better to older silicone. Sometimes when I'm having a problem with my silicone bonding, I'll call up Smooth On and I'll ask them what's going on, and they always tell me, when you're working with dragon skin, make sure you have it glued or painted within 3 days of casting. And I actually find that I never do. Like, it takes me weeks to glue a whole tail together, so I'm never really painting it after 3 days of casting it. However, I have found that my paint jobs stick pretty well when I follow these steps. The first step is to clean everything first with a little bit of acetone and then a little bit of naphtha. Once it's cleaned and primed with naphtha, it's good to go. So what I just poured into that cup there was more naphtha. Naphtha is a petroleum product. It's literally a camp fuel. So with the Psychopaint, you want to mix part A and B together. I'm going to speed this process up because you don't need to watch 10 minutes of me stirring my paint. So once it's all mixed up, I add it into a pretty big airbrush gun. I use these giant auto detailing guns. They're called HVLP spray guns with a gravity-fed cup on top. Gravity-fed is really important for silicone because it's quite thick. Now you can see as I'm spraying the gold paint onto the orange fins here, you can see a lot of the paint is overspray. It's spraying up into the air. Rest assured, I am wearing a full face gas mask to protect myself, to protect my face and my lungs, and you'll notice I'm wearing like big neoprene gloves. You don't really want to get this stuff to settle on your skin or breathe it in at all or get it in your eyes. Also, what you can't see in this video is I have a huge ventilation fan right above me that is sucking most of this right out of the studio. When it comes to airbrushing, it's good to just keep adding layers. The more layers you add, the stronger the pigment will be, then you can make it look nice. I only use airbrushing to color my fins and my tails and all the parts, mainly because if you've ever tried to hand paint silicone, it's really hard to get that to look nice at all. Silicone is really, really goopy to hand paint it. I don't even try anymore. I try to airbrush everything. I'll make even minutely detailed stencils that match the texture that I'm painting, just to get really clean airbrush lines. So the only thing that I don't like about these guns is they blow so much air that sometimes if I'm airbrushing something really light, it'll lift up off of the table. Sometimes I pin them down, sometimes I just deal with them flapping all over the place. So now that I'm done with this color, the airbrush gun is rinsed out with mineral spirits. I'll pour mineral spirits into the cup a few times, rinse it out. I'll use paper towel to wipe the inside of the cup. I also fill up the cup with a bit of mineral spirits and pour it out of the gun without the air hose attached. This generally works pretty well. The only time I would take the gun apart and clean it is if I'm switching from, let's say, a black pigment to a white pigment. But I'm really just using translucent pearls for this, so I'm not too worried about colors cross-contaminating each other. Okay, now for a different color. This is a different shade of gold, and it's the same process as before. We're going to measure out some naphtha. Now the ratio I mix is for every part A and part B you want 3 parts per your solvent. So I have 10 grams of part B, 10 grams of part A, and I'll be mixing 30 grams of solvent. And then once the 2 parts A and B are mixed together, then they go into the large cup there with the solvent in it, and they get mixed up. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell when the consistency is perfect. I basically mix until it moves around the cup in one fluid liquid. There's no chunks or anything. Now with this mixture here, I have 40 minutes before it will start curing. So, and that's if the temperature is cool enough in the studio. So I'm not too worried about it curing or drying on me while I'm mixing it up. I have about 40 minutes to apply it. So as far as technique goes for airbrushing silicone, I generally turn down the pressure to about 20 psi. I feel like this is a really good pressure when you're doing like a lot of overspray and a lot of like blending. I'll turn it down even lower to about 5 psi when I want to get in really close and just gently add layers and layers. Airbrushing is really all about adding layers and layers and layers of color. If I do want to get really precise designs, I'll use stencils. So this will be cured in about 2 hours. It'll all be donezo and ready for me to glue onto the top that I made all these for. I'm gonna do a shout out now to my patrons who have supported me for quite a few months now. Ace is Rad, Anna Hayden, Bree Whittington, Cindy de Mulinaire, Vandermolen, sorry if I butchered that name, Courtney Mermaid, Janelle, Lachelle, Megan Charles, Naomi Thiessen, Nerdmaid Faith, Samantha, Chandra Dias, Stephanie Major, Mermaid Nakia Set, and Wes Eccleston. Thank you guys so much. This video is for you. It might go public in maybe a few months, but probably not for a while. I just wanted to show you guys how silicone is painted. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!